Have you ever had cutout sugar cookies turn out terrible? They look beautiful and then they just taste awful? Well, no more. This recipe is perfect. It melts in your mouth. It's a beautiful flavor and you're going to enjoy every bite of this cookie. The first thing you want to do is preheat your oven, and then you're going to start out with some really nice softened butter. You want it to give away really easy, but you don't want it to be greasy. You want it to look like this. You can also use margarine or shortening, but I really do recommend a nice quality butter. Then you're going to add in your sugar, and white sugar is ideal here as it gives you a nice pale coloring for those decorations to really pop. And you're going to mix it until it's nice and smooth and creamy. I'm making this by hand, but you can use a stand mixer or a hand mixer. Now you want to add in some egg yolks. You don't want to use the whites because you want a really nice crumb that just melts in your mouth and doesn't give that chewiness. It's a really nice cookie to decorate with, and it holds its shape well in the oven. You want to mix this together until it looks really nice and smooth like this, and then add in your vanilla. If you want to change the flavoring, this is the time to swap out that vanilla for something like lemon. And then you're going to add in some salt for stability, to balance out that sweetness, and also to just help it really pick up that flavor. Speaking of sweetness, let's look at our little Maggie here. She can't wait until these cookies are done. She is so excited. Once you get it to look like this, you're going to add in some flour. Now, you may notice that I'm not using baking soda or baking powder, and I'm doing that on purpose. I want these cookies to retain their shape when they're baked, and also I want them to continue to have a pale color so you can really have those decorations shine in this recipe. Once you add the flour, you only want to mix it until it just starts to come together. Now this is where, if you're using a stand mixer or a hand mixer, you really need to pay attention. You do not want to overmix this dough, because if you do, it'll be one little tough cookie. You want it to look like this, where it just starts to come together, and if you squeeze it, it holds its shape. You guys, you know this is going to be the hardest part of the recipe for me, and it's the cling wrap. I don't know why I keep using this stuff. I'm telling you, I'm the world's worst. Look at this. I'm manhandling it. I've mangled it. I don't know why. I don't just use some aluminum foil or parchment paper, which is totally an option here. But anyway, let's move on. Once you get that ready, you're going to put your dough in the middle of this, and you're going to form a rough rectangle or a circle so you can roll it out later after it has taken a nap in the refrigerator. Seriously, why do I use this stuff, guys? Okay, so you're going to take your dough and you're going to put it into a big lump like so, and you're just going to flatten it out. And the more you flatten it out, this is a tip, the more you flatten it out, the easier it's going to be to roll later. So if you can take a little bit of time and make it maybe say half an inch tall, around 1.25 centimeters, then it's going to make it a lot easier to roll it out in the end. I like to personally do it into a rectangular shape, but you can also use a round shape. You want to chill it until it's nice and firm, at least a half hour or even overnight. Then you're going to sprinkle some flour onto your workbench like so, and then put some on your rolling pin as well. And then when you get your dough out, you're going to sprinkle a little bit more onto the dough, and that just keeps everything from sticking. Feel free to be a little bit generous here. It's okay if you need more as you go. And then you want to just roll up and roll down a couple times and then turn it. If it's sticking to your counter, you need to put more flour underneath your dough. See how it was sticking for me? So I'm really going to be generous with that flour now. And I'm just going to put it over top of it. If it continues to stick too much, that just means you need to chill your dough just slightly a little bit more. And you're going to roll it out until it's about 1/4 of an inch thick, or about 6 millimeters. And then you're just going to take the cookie shape of your choice and just start cutting out shapes. I like to do it this way, where you pull away the dough and then you lift it up with a little offset spatula or a butter knife off your counter. You can place these pretty close together on your baking sheet, and I like to use parchment paper because it really keeps them nice and pale, so they look really pretty when they're decorated. You want to bake these anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, or until the edges are just a lightly golden brown and they're just lightly golden on the bottom. Now, obviously, you guys are probably more talented at decorating than I am, but if you want a basic decorative glaze, you can just use some powdered sugar and some lemon juice or even water, and thin it out 1 teaspoon at a time until it gets a nice consistency like this, where it just ribbons off your spoon. And you can color this, or you can leave it plain and add in some sprinkles, or you can do a little bit of both. I personally like to turn the cookie upside down and then just let the excess drip off like so. You can use this in baggies and cut a little hole and decorate it with different colors, or you can just sprinkle some colored sugar on top, some of these little circular things, and watch me make a mess because my hands are sticky already. I recommend having all this stuff open ahead of time, and also sprinkling this over top of a bowl is an awesome way to keep it cleaned and contained, because if not, you'll have these little round things all over your kitchen floor for days to come. Another fun thing to do is to put a drop of food coloring in and then just take a toothpick and just kind of swirl it around. You'll get a nice kind of stained glass appearance to your cookie at the end. It's a fun recipe to do with family and friends and just have a little bit of fun. As you can see, I'm not the best decorator. I will teach you how to make really good tasting cookies, but I will not teach you how to decorate things well. There is a time and place for everything, and I have found that I am just really not the greatest decorator, and I'm okay with that. I accept my limitations in the kitchen, but they will taste wonderful, and that's what matters when it comes to food. Yes, I'm not great at decorating, but that's okay. There is a time and place for everything, and sometimes you just have to accept your limitations in the kitchen and embrace what you can do. After all, it's all about taste first and looks second here. Look how nice these just crack apart. They're a really nice tender crumb, and they're absolutely wonderful to taste. I'm telling you, Maggie's already circling me, and she's like, "Why are you taking so long?" Even the cat is wondering if she can have a taste. These are wonderful cookies to share with friends and family, and you will not disappoint people when you decorate them. If you're going to take the time to decorate a cookie, why not start with the best tasting one out there? Maggie, Jackson, and Raymond all came to say hello and get a taste of these delicious cookies, and they hope that you will try them too. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this recipe. Here are your ingredients if you want to follow along. Thank you for visiting us at jacksonsjob.com, and as always, happy baking.